and, you know, they're absolutely ecstatic because they're top of the league. I tell you what, Jose, get in your car, get some Chris Rea on, and get driving home for Christmas and never ever come back. You have to sack him, Woodward. This is beyond a joke. I am fed up of saying this now. He has to be sacked as Manchester United manager. It is beyond a joke. They have absolutely annihilated us today. Absolutely annihilated us. And the point for me is, if there is, look, I'm just looking at the league table. 11 points off 4th. 8 points off 5th. Negative goal difference. We've conceded more goals now by December the 16th than we did in the whole of the last 2 seasons. It is a disgrace. And the substitution at half-time for a young kid that he bought in the summer, a right-back who was brilliant last week, who everybody wants to play, he takes off Delo at half-time. He puts Darmian to right back and brings Fellaini on. There's more than 4 things wrong with that one substitution. Darmian gets a nosebleed if he goes out of his penalty box. He cannot attack. Delo is the future. You sub him at 45 minutes. You knock a young kid's confidence at Anfield by taking him. Because if you subbed at half time, it basically means you're shit. So he takes Delo off. He puts Darmian to right back. And he brings Fellaini on, and we park the bus. We park the bus to the extent that we show no attacking intent at all, and we try to cling on to a 1-1 draw because we scammed an equaliser because their goalkeeper dropped it, and then we're going to sit back at Anfield. We needed to, hello Jose, we needed to win that game. A draw would have been nice to stop Liverpool going top, but we still would have been 10 points off 4th place. We needed to win that game. If ever, I'm so glad Sir Bobby Charlton was sat next to Ed Woodward. I'm so glad Sir Alex Ferguson was there. Please tell them to sack this circus act because he has got no idea. I actually think he's trying to get the sack on purpose. I reckon he's got Chris Rea on repeat on a CD, ready to whack in when he's got his £20 million cheque in his pocket and he's driving himself back down to London, back to his real home instead of his hotel, driving home for Christmas. 20 million in my pocket. Sabotage United. Oh, back to bloody London. Get back. It's sabotage. It is sabotage. He's doing it on purpose now. That's the only explanation because watching that second half, like many of you I'm sure were, I mean, just drop a like on the video if you would sack Mourinho. Seriously, because we're going to do the call-in, but I cannot even understand this now. And I know I was listening to Gary Neville, I was listening to Roy Keane, and they were saying it's the players. It's the players. Look, both of them United legends. Both of them I absolutely adore as Manchester United ex-players. But their opinions on football are probably a little bit bitter because they're failed managers who've been sacked from jobs that probably think they shouldn't have been sacked. Gary Neville's rant the night before the Newcastle job probably kept Jose Mourinho in a job. And that probably cost us top 4 this season. Because if we'd brought Zidane or Laurent Blanc or Jardim or somebody in at that point, the season was only October. We could have turned it round. We could have maybe scraped top 4. That decision by the club to go back on sacking him against Newcastle has screwed this whole season up. But I would say to Gary Neville, Roy Keane and any other person backing Jose Mourinho, you're doing it out of stubbornness now because you are clever people. You've played football at the highest level and you've played for this great, great club. And if you are backing Mourinho now, you are doing it because you're stubborn and you don't want to go back on what you've said before. Because that performance today has got nothing to do with needing a centre-back. It's got nothing to do with not having 400 million to spend, which he's had. It's got everything to do with the man who is managing the team. He sent them out in the second half. He brought Fellaini on. He kept Pogba on the bench. He kept Lukaku on the pitch. He keeps picking Matic. He didn't pick Martial today. Eric Bailly was probably man of the match. He was fit to play and wasn't going to be playing because Smalling was going to play and Darmian was going to play. This is the man in charge of us. But nothing will ever make me think anything else other than we are a rich Stoke 2009. At second half, from minute 1, we parked the bus and sat back against Liverpool. And we made them top of the league tonight. And our only plan was sit back, boot it long. And what you know why Fellaini came on the pitch? So that De Gea had somebody to hit from long balls. Manchester United 2018. Put somebody in the middle of the pitch that we can hit with long balls. That's what we are. That is what we are. It is not bad luck that we are where we are in the league. we're probably a little bit lucky to be where we are. And how ironic it was when we went 2-1 down that Mata, Pogba and Martial all sat on the bench. Mata, Pogba and Martial were the 3 players that kept him in a job in October. That's your manager for you. Absolutely morals of a snake. Turns on people. Valencia was his captain, doesn't pick him anymore. And as for this Ash, I just want to talk about Ashley Young as well. The most banter fullback we've got at the club, who gets away with it because he had a game where he put Salah in his pocket. Did he put Salah in his pocket today? Did he put Mane in his pocket today? No, he was at fault for virtually every goal. The first goal, the chip from Fabinho, he's watching it going, "Duh, okay." And there's Mane. "Duh, okay. I'll give him 5 yards. I won't attack the ball. Oh, it's 1-0. But I did a tackle 2 minutes ago. I did a slide tackle 2 minutes ago. And we're going to give him a new contract." I mean, it's like last night, Chris Smalling is a decent third choice centre-back. We're announcing to the world on a Saturday night, when everybody's in or out drinking, we're pleased to announce the new contract for Chris Smalling. Oh, not only are we a laughing stock anyway, you're now ruining every United fan's Saturday night by letting the world know you've signed Smalling on a 4-year contract. He's going to get a testimonial. I mean, what are we on about? What are we doing? What is going on at the club? It's sabotage now. It is sabotage. And if the club are keeping Mourinho because they don't want to pay him 20 million quid because it's cheaper to wait till we're top 4, some things are more important than money. This is about fans' mental health now. This is about, depression and, you're ruining people's Christmas. You're ruining people's Christmas. Sack him. He's going to be happy because he's got his money. And let's move on. Let's start building something at this club. Let's start turning the page. Because I'll tell you what, if Jose Mourinho was not Manchester United manager tomorrow, the positivity around our club would go through the bloody roof. People would be happy again. Because, yeah, top 4's gone. Yes, we're going to get some banter. Yes, we may well end up in the Emmerdale Cup, but we need to start building. And it goes back to that Newcastle game. They were going to sack him. And maybe Gary Neville's public backing of Mourinho made them bottle it and they didn't sack him. But, that's not Gary Neville's fault. That's the board's fault for not having the balls to go through with what they were going to do. But the minute they kept Mourinho, most fans were like, well, this ain't going to get any better. We might scam results in Turin. We might scam results elsewhere. We might get back and beat Newcastle by the skin of our teeth. But long term, these players don't want to play for this manager. Long term, this manager does not want to play the brand of football that Manchester United play. And long term, we're only going one way, and that is down and down and down. There is no defending of this manager now. He has to go. And yeah, we've got Cardiff, Huddersfield and Bournemouth, and he'll be begging, please, I can get 9 points. But it's too late, mate. It's too late. If you beat Cardiff, Bournemouth and Huddersfield, you're just confirming what any top 6 team should do. And it's too late. You have dropped too many points at Manchester United. It is time to go. It is time they did something to get rid of Jose Mourinho, because that is totally and utterly unacceptable. And you know what? I do want to talk about the players a little bit, because in the first few minutes, I saw no effort, I saw no desire, I saw no speed, and I saw no... we're not as good as Liverpool. It pains me to say that. They're better on the ball. They're a better footballing team. They absolutely slammed us for corners, for shots. They're a much better team. But one thing we could have been better at than them today, because we were never going to be a better footballing team with him in charge, we could have been better on effort. We could have been better on desire. We could have been better on tenacity. We weren't. They wanted it more than us as well. So not only are they the better team, they are the better effort. And, people can say, well, that's not Mourinho's fault. He is the manager of that football club. He has bought most of those players. And if anybody is still lingering on backing Jose Mourinho, can I just say this? How? Please explain to me how 2 of his signings from only a year ago are still playing 90 minutes for our football team. How is Jose Mourinho still picking Lukaku? How is Matic still playing for Manchester United? When we signed Matic the summer before last, I got a lot of stick because I said Fabinho is a better player. And he went to Liverpool and everyone went, ha, you're wrong. And I said, I'm not wrong. Fabinho can't get in the Liverpool team because he's got to get past Milner, Henderson and Wijnaldum, who actually have played very well for Liverpool. They're a 100 miles an hour player. They give 100 miles of effort. And Fabinho and Keita have got to work their way in. Fabinho ran that midfield today. He's 10 times the player Matic is. He's he's about 10 times quicker. He actually plays a pass forward, and we're stuck with static Matic in our midfield, who got caught in possession loads because he takes too many touches, and who can't pass forward. He's a joke, and he gets picked every week. Lukaku, we basically played with 10 men. We basically played with 10 men today. As I said, his performance against Valencia was possibly the worst performance I've seen from a Manchester United forward ever. He should not have played today. He was crap against Valencia. And then he plays 90 minutes today. He trips over his own first touch. He got a yellow card trying to control his first touch. He skinned himself and passed it to a Liverpool player. He doesn't hold the ball up. He's slow. I could just go on and on and on, and he played 90 minutes tonight. There's a lad in the youth setup called Mason Greenwood. He could not do as bad as Lukaku if you tied his shoelaces together and put a blindfold on him. He'd put a better performance in than Lukaku. Lukaku is a shambles as a footballer. Now, I think he can get better, but he is shambolic at the moment, and he is playing 90-minute games for Manchester United. There was only ever going to be one winner in that game today, and I've got a list as long as my arm as to what went wrong. But the midfield was an embarrassment. Ander Herrera, who's a player I like, it was like if he looked up, he was going to get a headache. All he did when he got the ball was blast it or look at the floor. He was never looking up to make a pass. I think Lingard ran tirelessly, Rashford ran tirelessly, but they were never in the game. Matic is a waste of time. Darmian, I don't understand why Darmian even started the game. I don't understand why Darmian went to right back when Dalot is 10 times the player he is. Ashley Young was a joke. It's a shame Luke Shaw wasn't fit. He's terrible. Lindelof, how he's got himself back fit, he played well. I thought Eric Bailly played well. I don't think you can have much of a go at De Gea. What could De Gea do? And Lukaku was just an absolute embarrassment to the Manchester United. I mean, LLK says 32 attempts on goal for Liverpool. 32 attempts on goal for Liverpool. And, you know, we conceded 3 goals. The thing is, what did I say in the preview? I said in the preview, I can see Liverpool winning this 2-3-1. And that's the thing that bothers me the most, is that actually the performance just wasn't unpredictable. And the scary thing about United now is that we as fans can predict what's going to happen with our football club. We can predict how we're going to lose games. We can predict how we're going to play. We're not shocked. There is no effort. There is no tenacity. The tactics in football are bordering on, well, they are, you know, it's bordering on sabotage, because they're beyond embarrassing. It's beyond embarrassing what we did in that second half. I'm stunned that minute 1 from the second half, our response, let's not forget, Liverpool go 1-0 up. We get a very lucky equaliser, well taken by Lingard, but Alisson literally gifted as a goal. We go in at half-time, 1-1, fortuitously. What's our plan in the second half? Because Liverpool's plan is always going to be, let's win this game, let's get top of the league. What's our plan in the second half when we scam a lucky 1-1 equaliser just before half-time? Our second half plan is get Fellaini on, hit long balls and park the bus. That's what we are. That is what we are, and that should be a sackable offence in itself. That badge there, I nearly pointed at the other one, this one, Manchester United, that badge means something. People died for that badge. You know, we've always played attacking football. We've always played risk football. What we are playing now is park the bus long football. That should be sacked. That should be a sackable offence wherever you are in the league. Long ball, park the bus football, that should be a sackable offence. What I don't know tonight is I cannot answer for you tonight. I don't know how he's not been sacked already. How he will survive, and I think he will survive, I do not know. It makes no sense to me now. But what is abundantly clear is maybe we could win the FA Cup. But on this form, how could we? But top 4's gone. Top 4 is gone. I said it was gone ages ago, but it is gone now. 11 points off 4th place. It is gone. Absolutely gone. And we need to accept that. But, you know, the Pogba thing, in a way, the Pogba thing makes me very happy. I'm so glad he didn't play today, because what it showed with Pogba, and I don't need to go down what Rance has said about it being racist. I don't agree with that. The Pogba thing for me is a manager who doesn't know how to get the best out of him. That's as simple as it is. I like Paul Pogba. And I'm so glad he didn't play today, because if Pogba had played today, he would have had a bad game, because everybody in our team has a bad game under Mourinho, and people need to get their heads around this. You go in on Pogba. You go in on Pogba, right? And he gets the most stick. But the reality is, everybody in United's midfield especially is crap. Matic is consistently worse than Pogba. Herrera was atrocious today. You know, McTominay, Fellaini, they're bad footballers. Pogba's a good footballer being turned into a bad footballer by the system. But no Pogba today. Pogba didn't play today, and that was one of the worst performances of the season with Man City away. Pogba played in neither of those games. So there's your Pogba, it's Pogba's fault United are crap. You know, we had idiots last week because we beat the worst team in the league at home, Fulham, without Pogba. Oh, Pogba's the problem, look at how we play without Pogba. And I was like, Fulham are shit and the bottom of the league. Let's see how we do against Liverpool without Pogba if he dare do it. And he has done it. And he's made himself look an absolute pillock by doing it. And I'm so grateful for Mourinho doing that. I'm so glad he dropped Pogba because it exposed Mourinho that we're a worse team even with an inconsistent Paul Pogba there. Yeah, well, there we go. I'm just Jose Mourinho is just speaking to the press now, so I'll stay live for this. We've got the call in, so we'll be talking about that. He's just been asked, were we well beaten today? And he says they are a strong team. They showed they have the strongest team, so he's talking about money. But it is hard to concede 2 goals in the moment we conceded, and even harder the way the goals happened. Well, it's not hard, is it? Because you park the bus. They were lucky goals, but if you park the bus, if one team's trying to attack and one team's defending, if they score from a deflected goal, it's not bad luck. You know, if you invite pressure and teams keep shooting at your goal, eventually something will hit something and go in. He says the game was controlled. He's gone. He's absolutely gone. They attacked more than us. They had corners. They had more game in our half than we had in their half. But it was exactly the moment where the game was going into a dynamic where they were frustrated with the centre-backs coming with the ball, shooting from 30 metres. I mean, I love it. I love it, Jose, because you're just deluded. He felt we were going to win it, and it was exactly the time when they won it. I mean, absolutely amazing. It's when you concede goals. David said in the dressing room, 2 easy balls for him, but because of the bounce, he had no chance. If anything, we were fortunate to get back into the game with a goal down. If you want to speak about fortunate, you speak about their second and third goal. The first, so he's basically saying Liverpool were lucky to win it. He's gone. He's got to go, hasn't he? He's absolutely deluded. He's deluded. God. Somebody help me. I can't put up with him anymore. He absolutely irritates me to the back teeth. I cannot deal with him. You sent us out and parked the bus, mate. And you're saying Liverpool were lucky. Of course they got luck. Because they kept shooting. If you shoot at the goal 30 times, one of them might deflect off a defender and go in. But you show that impetus and imagination to try and go. Can you fix this? Do you mean by win the title? Of course not. Of course I can't fix that. What can you do? What can you improve? We can still finish 4th. I think it is not easy for sure. We are going to finish in the top 6 like all the historical top teams. But the better than we can get is 4th position. Now we have to look to the 5th, and probably later we can look to 4th. You're 11 points off 4th, mate. Do you have the backing of the dressing room? Are they playing for you? What is that? Play for me? Are you calling the players dishonest? No, I'm asking you asking me if they are dishonest. Just get out. Do you believe these Manchester United players are giving you 100% and believe in you? I believe they are honest and you believe they are dishonest. No, there is a clear distinction. A football player has to be maximum every day, every minute. It doesn't matter that the club pays in the fans that are 24 hours per day. Get him out. Just get him out. Ray Carl Brown Amori says, don't know how anybody will want that man Jose Mourinho as manager after he got our backside whooped. We just did get beat. We got kicked and spat on by Liverpool. The thing is, though, he must be sacked, but I don't believe for 1 second they will sack him. I don't know whether anybody out there thinks that he will. I really do not think that he will be sacked. Please do subscribe to the channel if you're new. Bottom right hand corner, we're nearly at 314,000 subscribers. Let's try and get something positive about today. But I've got some super chats to read out. There's been a few, and it's just I don't know about. I do not get it at all. Camille says Jose is an ancient Sam Allardyce. Maureen is senile and he needs to be put in a rest home for his Christmas present, says Midget. Our worst ever start to a Premier League season, 19 points off Liverpool, 150 million off Pogba and Fred, not even getting a game. How can this be justified? Thanks for the contribution, Shakib. Jose would rather keep hold of his massive ego and let the whole team suffer. Pogba, Martial, what the hell is Jose thinking? Absolute disgrace, Mark, says Joe Smith. Almaf Dahal, thanks for the contribution. Let's start a GoFundMe page to sack Mourinho, says the one. Adast says Fergie looked displeased. What a waste of time to watch. Joe Allen says, can Gary Neville finally admit that he was wrong about Shaqiri and completely wrong about Mourinho too? I don't think he will, because he'd be stubborn. I might be the same. David C says it's all goals for 29 goals against 29 sacking. Giorgio Melos woke up at 3 AM to watch that. Absolutely appalling. Really feel for the fans who pay their hard-earned money every week to see that. Bring in Zidane. Sharaf Kamath Fitness. Mark, Wolves, West Ham, Everton are just 1 point behind us. I think it's time to worry about what's below us. Embarrassed. Rogue Punisher says, before you laugh at children who believe in Father Christmas, remember there are adults who still believe in Jose Mourinho. Well, you know, you're right. You're right. There are. And I don't see how anybody can be backing Jose Mourinho after that. Those games are the most significant games as far as I'm concerned, because, you know, you can scam results, as I say, against Newcastle or Bournemouth or whoever, but what you cannot do against the big team is you can't scam the results, really. So what did he do against the big team? He parked the bus. That's what he did. And that's who we are. You know, that's where you find out who you are, in the big games. And he parked the bus in a massive game for Manchester United, and that for me is pretty appalling. Pretty appalling from a Manchester United manager. And he must go. He absolutely must go. There's not a part of me that thinks anything else. And I think that hopefully, I'm banging my head against the brick wall here, but hopefully the board would be thinking about moving him on. Money shouldn't be an object now. It should be bye-bye. Thanks for Europa League. You've not achieved what we brought you here to do. We brought you here to win us titles, and you've not been able to do that. So get out of our football club, effectively. And hopefully that's what they will do. But I don't see it. I don't see it happening. I really don't. I think he'll be here for a long, long time yet, unfortunately. And I think Manchester United is a joke as a football club because of it, because they should be moving him on. They should be getting him out of the club, but they don't seem to want to do it. And I don't really understand why at this point. I really don't. But there we go. I've had my say. Right, we're back again live in 14 minutes. We've got the call in at 6:30. Please do join us for that. The link is in the video description. We'll be taking your calls via Discord. Really looking forward to that. And remember, we've got Flex with the fan cams at the game. They're going to be very interesting as well. Please do drop a like on the video.
This is